That was amazing. Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, is the finale of the new Star Wars trilogy and also the supposed actual finale of the entire Skywalker saga. And this film was once again directed by J.J. Abrams, the director of Episode 7, and stars Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, a whole bunch of other people. And without getting into spoilers, it's about our heroes doing a thing, the villain also doing a thing. Things happen, things go boom, good things happen, things make me cry, things make me go, yeah! That's the best way I can describe it without giving anything away. As soon as I went into the theater, I was incredibly excited to see this film. I love Force Awakens. I love The Last Jedi. They're both amazing films to me, and I was very excited to see what Abrams was going to do to bring it all to a good actual conclusion. And he satisfied me in pretty much every way. This film was just the greatest. One thing that's really weird with me, though, or not just with me, but with everyone, is how mixed the reaction to this one is. It's not like Last Jedi mixed reactions where, like, you know, the people that hate the movie hate it for all the wrong reasons. Here, I don't get the hate this time around. Like, Last Jedi, it's just seeing people's hate, I was like, I can kind of understand that, but it's so stupid. Here, I just don't get it. Like, I didn't read any reviews or anything like that, but after I saw the movie, I saw other people's reactions, and I was just surprised at how mixed it all was, and I really don't understand why. Personally, I think this movie is fantastic. I thought that it was a great conclusion to what was built up in the last two movies, and as a whole, I feel like that it completely satisfied me as a Star Wars fan, and I loved pretty much every single minute of this film. One thing that I absolutely loved that they did in this film was the journeys that Rey and pretty much everyone went on, but especially Rey. What she goes through in this movie is the biggest thing that she's ever had to go through in this entire trilogy, and just every single beat of her arc and every questionable thing that she does is just fantastic. And I just love seeing her be the most badass Jedi that has ever been existed. She is just the goddamn greatest, and I loved every second of that she was, you know, being a badass. Loved it, loved her journey. Fantastic. Adam Driver as Kylo Ren once again just knocks out of the ballpark, and honestly, he's my favorite Star Wars villain. I'm not going to lie to you. Don't get me wrong. Darth Vader is awesome. But what I love about Kylo Ren and Adam Driver's performance is the conflictedness inside of him. That could have been portrayed really well in the prequels, but as we all know, it wasn't. Here it is portrayed incredibly well, especially in this film, just like the other ones. Adam Driver's performance is fantastic. I loved the journey that Kylo Ren went on in this film. I just loved his performance. Everything about him was mwah. Loved it. As for the other characters, Poe, I loved Oscar Isaac in this film. I love actually getting to see him do more in this film, because in the past he's really just been the pilot. Here he's actually on the ground doing stuff. Love seeing that. Love learning a bit about his past. John Boyega as Finn is once again fantastic. I loved him in the other films as well. I think if there's one thing that I can actually complain about with this film is that some of the side characters that were introduced in this film and other ones from the past, there really isn't that much for them to do here. And I can understand that because the story is really just focused on Rey, Finn, and Poe, and, like, you know, the journey that they're going on. But it feels like that they got left on the sidelines this time around. And, like, there's some new people on the First Order, and there's a lot of new people on the Resistance, and, like, you know, there's Rose and other people. And I'm just like, I wish that they had gotten utilized more or had been utilized better. Once you see the movie, you will understand what I mean. So I think if there's anything I could be disappointed by, it's that. The action in this movie, good lord, the action in this movie was fantastic. Lightsaber fights, ground battles, air battles, it was all so satisfying. Loved every second of it. There is some crazy shit that happens in this, and I loved every second of it. As for the story, without getting into any details whatsoever, because this is a spoiler-free video, I loved it. I thought that it was great, and I thought that it was a great journey for Rey, especially everything that happened in the film to her, everyone else, Kylo Ren, and how it just all culminated in the end together was fantastic. I found it to be a very satisfying story, and I really just love the journey and how it ties Force Awakens and Last Jedi into this film. Done amazingly well. It's really hard to talk about this film without getting into spoilers, which I'm not going to do, but as my overall thoughts, I thought Rise of Skywalker was a very satisfying ending, not only for the new trilogy, but also for the Skywalker saga as a whole. It satisfied me as both a fan of this trilogy and the original trilogy. I thought that it tied together Force Awakens and Last Jedi together really well. It satisfied me on pretty much every single end, and I just had an amazing time seeing this film. It was great. I felt fulfilled on the inside, obviously, and I just felt like this was a satisfying ending for me. One thing that is weird to me is that this feels like that this kind of epicness of an ending should have been what Return of the Jedi in Episode 6 should have been. Because Return of the Jedi, to me, is disappointing. Like, it's not a bad film, but it's nowhere near the levels of epicness that this is, or it doesn't have any of the deeper meanings or really anything like that. There really is only a bit in, like, Luke and Vader. But here, it just has everything that film was missing. To me, this is an actual satisfying ending, and, like, I can be laid to rest. There doesn't need to be any more Skywalker Saga films. I felt like that this was a good conclusion on every end. I absolutely loved Rise of Skywalker. I'm going to give Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, a 9 out of 10. I absolutely love this film. This might be my favorite film of the new trilogy. It is fantastic on every front. The action, the acting, the characters, the arcs that they go on, the journey, the story, pretty much every single thing that happens in this film, I absolutely loved. Again, the only thing that I think holds it back from being truly amazing is just that some of the side characters get left to the sidelines and certain other things happen to some characters that's just like, could have been a little bit more there. But overall, Rise of Skywalker is a fantastic and amazing film. Don't let other people tell you otherwise. Go see it for yourself. Have a great time. And I really hope that you all enjoyed this review, and make sure that you like and subscribe. And I will see you all next time.